welcome to Just Energy Radio with your host, naturopath and medical intuitive, Dr. Rita Louise. We have learned from Einstein's theory that matter and energy are one. Physicists believe that all systems in nature have their own particular way of vibrating. From the swinging of a pendulum to the waves of the ocean to the light that brightens the sky each day, each of these oscillates at its own unique rate. The same holds true for every thought, feeling, event, or word we speak. Each has its own frequency or rate of vibration. What many of us don't realize is when we take everything in our universe down to its simplest form, it is all just energy. Join Dr. Rita Louise on a journey through time and space where past, present, and future collide. Today, what you believe may be called into question. What we want to know is, who made up the rules? Be brave and step outside the box. We are about to turn our world upside down and venture into the unknown. Hold on. We are departing our own beliefs and entering alternative realms. Enjoy the possibilities.
Hello and welcome to Just Energy Radio, live here on the Inception Radio Network. And what a wonderful evening it is today. Yet another excellent show. In the first hour, we're going to be speaking with Roger Bezanis about cleansing and detoxification. And in the second hour, with biologist, microbiologist William Brown about the science of life on Earth. But don't let that title fool you, because we're going to some places strange and unknown. Just Energy Radio is brought to you by soulhealer.com. What I'd like to know is your life moving forward with no one behind the wheel? Are you looking for some direction or a next step to take? Well, stop by soulhealer.com to discover all of the products and services I offer that can help you experience health, healing, and wholeness in your life. Now, I have a bunch of different announcements. I want to start off with one. This show, Just Energy Radio, has been nominated as the top spiritual show on About.com. We're looking for your votes. My butt's kind of getting kicked, so come on, guys. I really need your support. If you go to the Just Energy Radio webpage, there's a link on there that you can click through and vote for this show. Come on. Show your support for Just Energy Radio. Keep us on the air. Do what you can. Anyway, that's on the Just Energy Radio webpage. You can also access our over 6 years' worth of archives, as well as sign up for our weekly newsletter that'll keep you informed of all the great programming we have coming up on the show. If you're interested in keeping informed of what's going on, you can befriend us on Facebook, Just Energy Radio on Facebook. You can download the shows, obviously, from the Just Energy, I have to stop talking so fast, Just Energy Radio website, or you can visit our YouTube channel, Just Energy Radio, and subscribe to it so that you will get the features every week. Let's see. Also, you can download for your smartphone the Inception Radio Network app, and so you can listen to the great programming that comes from here on Inception Radio Network on your smartphone. You know, like while you're supposed to be working, you got your headset on. Shh, I won't tell anybody. In your car, just think about all the great places you can listen to all of this information to expand your mind and broaden your horizons. Download the app. It's free. We like free. Let's see what else is going on. If you are in the Dallas, Fort Worth, or Texas area, next month, March 23rd, is the Texas Para Unity Fest being held in Waxahachie, Texas. I will be there speaking. And then in April 6th, I think, is the History, Haunts, and Legends Conference being held again in spooky Jefferson, Texas, the most haunted city in Texas and one of the top 10 in the country. The coolest place to go. I'll be there. You can hang out with me. It'll be cool. I mean, if you vote on the Just Energy Radio webpage, then I'll hang out with you even more. One last announcement. If you haven't checked out the information, it is finally there. We have all of the details about the trip to Peru. Myself and Brian Forrester are organizing a tour. We're going to go down there, check out a bunch of sacred sites. Everyone that goes is going to learn how to use remote viewing techniques where we're going to actually tune into the ancients. We're trying to discover, using intuitive tools, who built these sites. what were our ancestors like? And so if you want to become part of this research project, please do check out the information, sign up for the tour, and join us because it's going to be so much fun. You can find that information on the Just Energy Radio webpage as well as on soulhealer.com. Okay, man, too many announcements today, but they're important to get out there. Let me tell you a little bit about our first guest, Roger Bezanis, and we will get him on the air. Author, researcher, formulator, educator, and mentor, Roger Bezanis, one day I'll say it right, has spent the last 16 years of his life uncovering the true workings of the human body. His esoteric techniques of diagnostic face reading, energy balancing techniques, and amazing symptom analysis are revolutionary. When the trio are used in unison, they propel the user past all known tools available for diagnosing and healing the body. His book, Diagnostic Face Reading and the Holistic You, has become an alternative health bestseller. And actually, Roger has a brand new book out that we're going to find out more about, which I just learned about 2 days ago. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the hour. So please welcome to Just Energy Radio, my good friend, the total alternative health guru, Roger Bezanis. Hey, Roger, how's it going?
Hey, Dr. Rita. We're going to have to update my bio because I think you said the book is Diagnostic Face Reading and Holistic You. It's been holistic healing for like a couple of years. I didn't realize that bio was still out there. It's Diagnostic Face Reading and Holistic Healing. But that's not why we're on the show today. So,
but, if they go to your webpage, rogerbezanis.com, they can find out all the updated and current information.
That's true. And if they want to know how to spell my last name, it's B like Bravo, E like Echo, Z like Zebra, A like Alpha, N like November, I like India, S like Sierra.com. So it'd be Roger Bezanis, all those letters.com. So there you go. That's all true. That's all true.
That's true. But actually, we were talking about Twitter a couple of seconds ago. So why don't you tell people, because you have like a little course that you do somehow.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how. On Twitter.
Well, what happens is every day, Monday through Friday, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And every now and then, I'll have actually written what I'm going to put on Twitter the night before. That's very rare. Usually, I'm writing it and putting it up on the spot. So it starts being entered around 4:30, around 5 o'clock California time. So it's California time. But I'm up at 4 a.m. And for the next hour and a half to 2 hours, I'm giving you a free class on health and healing. You're going to learn about alternative techniques to heal the body. You'll learn about raw foodism. You'll learn. And I don't mince words. I come right out and tell you like it is, or tell it like it is. I tell you where the bodies are buried. I tell you about bodies you didn't know were buried. No, this is a course that modern medicine hates. This is a course that big pharma hates. Same thing, more or less. This is a course that big junk food hates. Oh, my gosh. They don't like me at all. But that's why you want to tune in every day, Monday through Friday, plus Saturday and Sunday. I do the same thing an hour later. So there you go. I never miss a day. Not almost 400 classes so far, and I won't be missing a day.
Well, that's because you're like the health guru. You can't get sick. It's impossible.
And like I talk about, here I am, 53 years old. I bound out of bed every morning, doing what I do. 16% body fat. I'm total detox and health and raw foodism. No, it's easy being me. It's just first, and it's hard getting there. I won't tell you it's not. It takes some work to get there, but once you're there, it's like going down a slide, a greased slide. There's nothing to even stick to.
What a visual. So today we're going to be talking about cleansing and detoxification. And with summer just around the corner, it seems like it would be a good idea to talk about what we can do to get us out of the winter slumber and ready for the sun. But when most people think about, that time in their life, they think about like dieting and exercising. But is that really all we need to do in order to, get our energy up and ready for, all of that outdoor activity?
Yes, no, and maybe. It depends on who we are, where we are, what we're doing. See, this is scary what I'm about to tell you. So they're constantly updating the obesity statistics, and the latest one is that they're in some areas of the country. And really, it's spreading around the world now that junk food has hit Asia. Oh, my gosh, what they're doing to those poor people over there. It's like the 1950s all over again. But in some parts of the country, United States, we're now running at 75% obesity. We are the first people in the history of mankind where parents are outliving their children. They're outliving them. They're just not living past 25, 30, 35, 40. They're dying. They're polluted. They're junked up with junk food. Some of them have never been to a produce section in their lives. So what to do about getting yourself into a swimsuit? Well, maybe we should just worry about what we should do about getting ourselves into our clothes. Oh, there's a lot of things. We can certainly diet, but here's a basic. Water. It's the number 2 important item on the planet. Number 1 is oxygen. We'll die in a few minutes without oxygen. Number 2 is water. And what dictates how much water we consume, and by the way, you can lose weight just drinking enough water because most people don't. How much water do we need? It's based on 3 things: environment, diet, and activity. Environment, diet, and activity. So if the environment is hot, you work in Vegas and you're just working your butt off outdoors doing construction, well, you're going to lose more water per hour there and need more water than if you worked in, say, Portland. So that's environment, all right? Diet. If you have a horrible diet, which a lot do, full of pizza and hot dogs and rice and cereal. People go, what? What's wrong with cereal? Cream of wheat. Yeah, cereal. Any kind of cereal.
Come on, Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. If you've noticed, no cereal grows on trees. There is no cereal. There's no steel-cut oat cereal tree. That's a manufactured product thanks to good old you and me, mankind. Okay, so if the diet is bad, then we got to drink a lot more water, and even then it might not be enough. And then we've got activity. So if we're running around chasing kids, we're going to need a lot more water than if we're sitting at our desk being sedentary. So, and then if you factor in the last part of it, which kind of mingles with the first two, then diet again. But that leads to toxicity. If you're very toxic, I don't know if you'll get enough water. And then if you're using medications, you may not get enough water. And there are some people out there who don't even like water. Here's the bad news, folks. Whether you like it or not, you need between 80 to 120 ounces a day. And most of you, that won't be enough because you're running a gallon behind. I'm not saying drink 2 gallons a day. Well, you can try
how
it.
much is 180? How many? Is
80
is that like a gallon?
Well, no, a gallon is 128 ounces. 80 is obviously short of a gallon. But most people run around thinking they drink a lot of water, drinking 16, 18 ounces. One woman last week told me, "Yeah, I drink a lot of water." Oh, yeah, how much is that? I drink at least a cup a day. A cup? How big's the cup? I'm thinking, at least 64 ounces. She's got this big thing. No, it's like 4 to 6 ounces, depending. Yeah, some people get more water.
I'm doing pretty good because I drink over half a gallon of water a day.
I'm sorry?
Like 3/4 of a gallon of water a day.
Oh, good. That you can still ramp that up.
That's why I got that good skin, Roger.
Yeah, some people are getting more water from the air they breathe than from the water they drink. In other words, they're not drinking any water. They're actually absorbing more in the shower.
What about like people that drink tea or drink coffee? I often hear them say, "Well, I'm drinking tea. Doesn't that count?"
Well, it might count if it's not caffeinated and it's not decaffeinated. But even then, you're drinking water that's been destroyed by heating, so I don't recommend that. You could let it sit out in the sun and cook that way, but it's still cooking. So if you follow pH, then you're going to start asking, well, yeah, I guess I want to have spring water. I don't want to cook it. So, yeah, if you have coffee or tea, well, coffee is one of the worst things you can possibly put in your body. It completely attacks the kidneys and the liver and shuts down the entire body. In fact, let me give you a little story on how caffeine works. So the kidneys are the water treatment center for the body. All water has to be processed by the kidneys. So when we consume caffeine is a diuretic. It's going to cause us to urinate. Well, when we consume caffeine, the kidneys are kicked offline, as if we have a computer virus, but now only the kidneys have a computer virus. Well, this virus spreads throughout the body because now uric acid is going to sit in your joints, and now the joints are going to be sore. Lactic acid is going to sit in your muscles. Now the muscles are going to be sore. You'll be stiff and sore, and you'll be losing water. You won't be able to move your bowels. Your blood's not going to run as well because the kidneys regulate the heart. So just imagine the entire body now having a vice grip on them, and it's squeezing it tighter and tighter and tighter. Well, that's what we're doing when we have any caffeine at all. In fact, since it's my story, imagine this. Imagine you're having your cafe latte, and it tastes good. You love your cafe latte. Well, there's a big man that you don't know about. He's Coffee. That's what his name is, Joe Coffee. He's bald. I don't know why he's bald, but he's bald. He has a big handlebar mustache. He has muscles in places that you shouldn't have muscles. I think his earlobes have muscles. This guy's 6'5". He's holding a mallet with a handle on it that's about 3 inches around. This thing is huge. He's huge. Everything's big. The mallet weighs about 6 pounds. Every sip of caffeine you have, he winds up and pounds your low back and smacks your kidneys and crushes them, knocking you forward. You go rolling. Well, I don't know what that was. And you get back up and get your cafe latte, which oddly didn't spill a drop. And you start drinking some more, and boom, he hits you again. And this will go on until you stop. And then your kidneys will be in big doo-doo, that's near Big Sandy, big doo-doo, for the next 4 to 5 hours. Yeah,
so I guess we're just really into
drug.
these S&M relationship things.
I'm sorry?
I guess we're just really into this S&M relationship thing.
Well, actually, you know what? I hate to say it, but you're not wrong. You see, we have this idea. We do. We have this idea that we can eat anything we want with impunity. That means without any consequence. We can just eat and eat and eat, and then we notice our waistline getting fatter and fatter. Well, it's got to be the environment and the my job. I'm stressed. No, we didn't notice we had a hamburger and hot dogs, and we ate endlessly. By the way, folks, I'm a raw foodist. You heard me say that earlier. I eat nothing cooked. At 53 years old, I'm still 5'8". I won't be taller than that, but I'm hoping. And I'm 164 pounds. I'm 16% body fat. I was 235 pounds and dropped from 235 down to 164 in 7 weeks, going completely raw. There's nothing more detoxing than that. But you can always use herbs. Herbs are a great way to detox.
We're going to come back to the raw food thing, but let me. There was a question in the chat room, and I want to hit you with this before we move on, because it was with our point. And so we were talking about water, and so hang on a second.
I'm drinking water.
I want to give them credit, but I lost their analog hole. Analog hole. Asked, but what about water from food sources like fruits and vegetables?
Not enough. I mean, you can eat oranges and grapes and watermelon, and that's all good. But if you're only getting down an actual glass or two of water a day, forget about it, like they say in New York. Just don't even, no. You can, let's be fair. Let's say you eat nothing but fresh fruit and vegetables. That's all you eat. And it's primarily watery stuff, which, by the way, if you never noticed, there is no vegetable that's watery. Some people think tomatoes are vegetables. No, it's a fruit. It has seeds. Anyway, it's only fruit that are watery. So you eat nothing but watery fruit. Nothing but watery fruit. You're a watery fruit eater. And you get down, say, 48 ounces of water, 60 ounces of water a day. Maybe. Just maybe. Depending on if you have no other bad habits, you don't run around and you're not active, you don't do anything you shouldn't with alcohol or drugs. If you're good that way, maybe your 48 ounces of water is okay. Maybe, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would say don't do that. Have a lot of water. It's good to make mistakes with water and go, well, I think I'm urinating every 2.5 minutes. I think I'm drinking too much water. It's better to do that than not get enough. So
I think they need to have an Olympic sport on urinating because I think I could get like a freaking gold medal.
Well, I got one for you. Okay, let's talk about diabetes because it's fun. Okay, diabetes is one of the leading killers on the planet lately, and people are mystified. I've got diabetes, really? What are the symptoms? Well, and they all sound like Disney characters, these people. I'm sorry if you don't. But you can work at it. Anyway, so you urinate frequently. You're violently thirsty. Violent. You may go out and hurt someone. You're really thirsty. Your joints may hurt. Your low back may hurt. Your muscles may be sore. You may have all sorts of issues going on, which, by the way, all come down to kidney issues. But don't listen to that. I probably don't mean that diabetes is really kidney issues. That wouldn't make any sense. Now, think that over. The two main complaints or ways of diagnosing diabetes is frequent urination and increasing thirst. Now, think this through. If you got soap in your eye, would you wash it out? Rita, you'd wash that out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it would be because it stung, right? It stung, so you got rid of the washed it out. Well, look at what you did. You washed your eye out because you got a toxin in your eye. Think about diabetes. We're frequently urinating, and then we're asking for more. I need more water. Why would we do that? Because we're poisoning ourselves and not realizing it. So the body's constantly thirsty because it needs more water. It's constantly flushing out because it's flushing out toxins. And they call that symptom diabetes. But it's actually the body doing what it should, but the fact is the body's very toxic. So back to the subject at hand, detox, hello. So you get it? Diabetes is just severe toxicity, which comes down to weak kidneys trying to flush the body free of waste. Hello. Is anyone going to tell you that? No. But they will tell you that the last machine you'll be hooked up to when you have diabetes is the kidney dialysis machine. That you don't have to be really bright to figure out, well, wait a minute. If it's the kidney dialysis machine, I sound like that when I'm not on the radio. I sound like this all the time. No, when you're not, if you're hooked up to the kidney dialysis machine as the last machine that you get when you have diabetes, it means that it's always been, and truly it has always been, weak kidneys that gets called diabetes. That's completely reversible. And by the way, I said that, completely reversible. Dr. Rita, did you know that lap band surgery and what's the other one? Resection of the colon. Did you know that that's supposed to heal diabetes?
Why? Because you don't eat so much?
You nailed it. There's a number of things. Talk to anybody who's had the surgery. Here's what they tell you. They tell you, 1, the doctor won't let me eat as much. Number 2, I can't eat junk food. Number 3, I have to exercise. Number 4, I think I said smaller portions already. I think I did. Oh, and I have to drink more water. So no junk food, exercise, smaller portions, and water. Well, wait a minute. Maybe it's me. But if you just drank more water, exercised, ate smaller portions, and didn't eat junk food, wouldn't you lose weight anyway? And by the way, the surgery itself causes you to lose no weight. It's what you do after the surgery. So if you are obese, and I'm sorry if you are, but there's always, putting down the fork. I didn't say that. Anyway, so if you are, I mean, so if you are, and you're waiting to get surgery, I'm telling you now, put down the fork, eat smaller portions, try exercising, and drink water. And you can save the $3,000 to $20,000, depending on how good your insurance is, for the surgery that you don't need, that anybody who's had the surgery will tell you, well, that is why you lose weight. And that's why Carney Wilson of Wilson Phillips blew back up again, because she just started eating all over again. Isn't that scary?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know who that is, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, you never heard of Wilson Phillips? Okay, you know who Brian Wilson is or was?
Yeah.
That's his daughter. And they formed a band, China Phillips' daughter and Carney Wilson, and then this other woman whose name I forget now. They formed a band back in, I guess, the early 80s called Wilson Phillips, oddly enough. And they went on and had songs that were similar to the Bangles. And we're dating ourselves because we actually know what we're talking about here. You people who are much younger than us are going, who are the Bangles? So, they were very popular, and they're around the country
like an
still.
Egyptian. Everybody knows that song.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. Nobody walks in L.A. Walking in L.A. Sorry.
Well, you're just on a roll tonight. Okay, let's get back to cleansing and detoxification because when you mention that, people, they'll say, "Oh, so should I eat fiber?" But aren't there? All right, I'm just gonna kind of play stupid here.
Please.
Are there more than one kind of cleanse that a person can do? And if there are, how can you decide which one would be the most appropriate for you?
Well, there's a lot of ways. One, you might have a budget. So sadly enough, cost has something to do with it. So if you've walked into your health food store, gone online, and looked for detoxes, body and colon cleanses, colon products, then, by the way, you don't want to just clean your colon if you're going to detox because that's like cleaning your bathroom and washing your toilet only. The rest of your house is a mess, but my toilet is pristinely clean. So don't just do that. Okay, so cost is going to factor into it. So walk into your health food store and look around. Go up and down that aisle. There's an aisle for this stuff. And then there's Ayurvedic cleanses out of India. There's China cleanses or Chinese cleanses out of China. And, of course, they're not really made there now. A lot of them are made here. There's American cleanses. It comes down to doing two things. You want to address the cellular toxicity because the way the body accrues waste is like this. You eat something horribly not good. Even if it's just a little bit not good, but you do it over a lot of years, it hits your liver. Your liver has to break it down, but your liver's behind because your liver can only do so much in a day and so much per hour. Well, here's the 25th thing. It can only handle 20 things. So this portion of this waste that you've just put in is going to now leach into the blood and now be grabbed by cells and then held. Now you've got fat. You had fat before, but now you're going to multiply your fat because your fat is now going to hold on to toxins. That's why fat is so hard to break down because you're toxic. If you're hearing that it's a good idea to lose weight, to detoxify, you're right. So your cells are now holding on to the toxicity. Well, now you've got your liver overwhelmed, your kidneys overwhelmed, your spleen overwhelmed, your colon is backed up because you can't go. You don't go but once every 2 or 3 days. By the way, you should go with every meal. You should eat and go, eat and go, eat and go. That's how you should be. So now your cells are toxic with waste. You're putting on weight. So that's why you want to do a body detox, a body formula of some sort, and then a colon product of some sort. You may get other formulas mixed in there, but those are the two major ones. It's good to have one doing one thing and one doing another because if you get it all in one tablet, there's no way to adjust it. So you do this for 3 months. Before breakfast, before dinner, for 3 months to do a full cleansing. That's smart. If you do it less, you're going to tease your body.
Let me interrupt you here for one quick second.
Please.
Because you go to the health food store, for example, and you see like a liver cleanse or a candida cleanse, and it's like, take it for a week, or maybe it's a long one. It says take it for 10 days. So you do it for 10 days, and it's like, I mean, do you recommend doing it hard and fast, or is it better to do something over a number of months and kind of let your body do what it's going to do?
Yep, 3 months is ideal because it took you a lifetime to build up this waste. And unless you're a detox rat where you do it every 6 months, then doing it once a year or so, even if you were every 6 months, if you're really toxic, you better do it 3 months. So you do it 3 months. Oh, by the way, teasing yourself for a week is just doing that. It's teasing yourself. If you're doing just a liver formula, if it's a really good one, you might feel a little clearer. Your energy might be a little better, but you're going to constantly be reaching for that bottle. And reaching for a bottle to improve your liver is similar. And I really mean this, even though I know my formulas inside and out. In fact, I've made plenty. It's similar to reaching for a pain pill. In other words, it's similar to reaching for big pharma to suppress something. Now, you're not suppressing when you use an herb, but you are enlivening the liver when you shouldn't have to. If you just detox long enough to begin with, then it's a once-a-year process. And the rest of the time is just monitoring your diet, and either you're really good, or you're kind of good, or you're kind of not good, or you're really bad. And then after a period of time, you'll repeat. So there's liver formulas, kidney formulas, colon formulas. There's brain formulas. Now, that's not a detox, although a lot of people would like to detox their brain, I'm sure. There's heart and lung formulas. So you pick and choose what you want. And somebody who's good at the health food store or your doctor See your chiropractor, see your naturopath. They know these things inside and out. See your colon hydrotherapist. You might say, what's that? They wash out your colon. I know that sounds scary to some people. It's going to sound worse in a minute. Colon hydrotherapy, you're laying down, and someone who you trust, thank God, they insert a tube into your rectum, and they slowly, gently wash your colon free of waste. Now, that's colon hydrotherapy. It's been around for thousands of years, and it's practiced all over the world, and it's popular in Texas, too. So, yeah, it's not for everybody. I've had it done, and I can tell you it's definitely not for everybody. I didn't do it again, but it's not that I didn't love it. It was really good. I just didn't want to be that public with my private parts. So, there you go.
For a while, I was getting phone calls all the time with people trying to set up colonics, and I'm like, no, I sell colon cleansing products. So we're talking about all this stuff. Let me ask you a question. I mean, do you sell supplements and cleansing products on your site?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't have anything to do with that whatsoever. My site is strictly the information. I teach you how to heal your body, how to understand it, how to diagnose it, but no products.
Okay, well then can I give myself a plug?
Absolutely, Dr.
Okay,
Rita.
so if you're looking for cleansing products on the www.soulhealer.com, if you look under products and nutritional supplements, I sell Nature Sunshine products, and they have tons of stuff, liver cleansing products, kidney cleansing products, everything that you might need. So
everything, and then some, and they're really good company too. They're really good company. By the way, just for people who, so I'm going to save you a lot of time and anguish. For people who are looking for to be directed to the right colon hydrotherapist, if that's what you want, cool. In Texas is a organization called IACT, International Association of Colon Hydrotherapists, IACT.com. They're very wonderful people. Oh, they're just the sweetest people in the whole world. Give them a call or look them up online and give them a call. They'll tell you where to go. And it won't be a bad place where they tell you to go either.
Just poopy.
Just poopy. You think of how important that is. The old joke where the body was having an argument asking, who's the boss? Who's the boss? Heart says he's the boss. The brain, everyone's arguing about who's the boss. Well, finally, the rectum speaks up and says, I'd like to be boss. Oh, the body laughs silly. Oh, just ha, 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 and they're pointing fingers, and the rectum gets all kind of embarrassed and mad, so the rectum closes up. Well, waste doesn't have anywhere to go, and it starts backing up into the system, and the brain's feeling bad, and the body. The end of this joke is that it just proves that if you want to be boss, you want to be the butt. So there. Yep. There you have it.
Okay. So one question, how do you figure out, because I think people aren't, they get confused. So how do you determine, and I don't know if this is something you can just kind of give a generic answer to, whether it would be good to do a liver cleanse or whether it's good to do a kidney cleanse, or, is the colon cleanse the thing you need to do? I mean, do you just kind of pick one, or are there some signs and symptoms you could look for to identify where you should maybe focus your time and energy in a general sense, since we're talking to a large group?
Well, that's one of the best questions I've ever heard in my entire life, and I really mean it. I love that question. In fact, I'm going to go on for the next 20 minutes about how good that question is. So if you have...
No, because we only have, like 25 more minutes.
I'll hurry. Okay, so the liver. If you have liver issues, you have right shoulder pain, right side of your neck gets stiff, sore, and tight. I'm not guaranteeing it, but that is a liver symptom. Your right scapula, that flat bone in your back, may be stiff, sore, and tight, and the muscles around it. Your right shoulder, your right bicep, your tricep, your right elbow, your right upper forearm might be stiff, sore, and tight. Your right pectoral muscle. You might be congested in your lungs. That's another liver symptom. If you constantly have irritated eyes, that's your liver again. If your sinuses are draining, that's your liver again. Your liver regulates all these things. If you can't think straight, if you get moody, irritable, upset, angry, if you're an angry, moody person, no. If you constantly think you have PMS, whether you're male, female, or not, well, I guess you have to be male or female, then you have liver issues. Period. End of story. If your skin is itching, burning, and tingling anywhere, Your liver regulates your skin. That's all liver. If you have a spot in the middle of your back, everyone's going, yeah, I know that spot, and it itches profusely, is all the time and a lot, that's your liver. Okay, let's do some kidney symptoms. If you have reproductive issues, who knew the kidneys regulated the reproductive system? That's your kidneys. If your joints are stiff, sore, and tight, you thought it was diabetes? You thought it was arthritis? It's your kidneys. If your ankles are stiff and sore, if your knees are stiff and sore, if your low back or any part of your back other than the right upper side of it is stiff, sore, and tight, that's your kidneys. If you don't have a real good prostate, that's your kidneys. If you're constantly urinating, that's your kidneys. You had bladder infections, that's your kidneys. If your muscles, I mentioned that already, your muscles anywhere in your body other than the right upper shoulder are stiff, sore, and tight, that's your kidneys. In other words, you can improve all of this with the correct formula. Hey, here's some foods. If you want to eat foods that are good for your kidneys, grapes. Your kidneys love grapes. They love grapes. They love kiwi. They love cherries. They love romaine lettuce. Yes, you're going to have to listen to the show again. I'm speaking fast. These are wonderful for the kidneys. And by the way, some liver foods, tangerines, oranges, grapefruit, lemons, limes, kiwi, pomelos. Yes, I did name all the citrus just then. Romaine lettuce again. That's liver or kidney. You can't go wrong. Water is good for either one. Apples, good for the liver. Blueberries, one of the liver's best friends. So that's some liver and kidney symptoms and some solutions. And, of course, get your products off Dr. Rita's website. And I'm pushing your website now. And then if your colon is backed up, well, you may have all the liver signs because your liver regulates your colon. But if your liver is backed up by a backed up colon, your liver will be worse. And you may be constantly draining your sinuses and have headaches and feel terrible and think you always have the flu. No, I bet you're constipated because you need to go 3 times a day with 3 meals. Not once a day, not once every 2 days, not once a week. Every day, once per meal eaten. So those are some basics. And, it's always a good idea to do a colon formula with your liver or your kidney. And ideally, you should do liver and kidney in concert because when there's a liver issue, there's a kidney issue. And when there's a kidney issue, there's a liver issue. One goes hand in glove with the other. So there you have it. You can go liver, kidney, colon, or liver, kidney, or liver and, liver, kidney, or colon by itself. I don't recommend that because it's like only cleaning part of the house. Or do a body and colon cleanse that's all wrapped up into one. And then you can augment with some extra liver, extra kidney if you need to. So there you go.
Well, okay. See, I never heard somebody say do kidney and liver at the same time. I think that's pretty interesting. Like doing colon, I totally get that because you're stirring everything up and you need it to go somewhere. And if it ain't going out, then it's just being stirred up and then just kind of settles down like dust in your house.
Well, you just asked a great question. Again, you didn't even know you did. So there's 2 forms of detox. 2. Count them, 2. One form, I think I mentioned this the last show, so listen to that show and see if I said the same thing twice. So one form is working the perimeter, your fatty tissue, your muscle tissue, your connective tissue. You stir up waste through the fatty tissue. Then you dump it down to the liver, kidney, spleen, lymphatic system, and eventually the colon and the lungs and the urine, and you get rid of it. So that's working from outside in. That's your general system detox, right? That's working outside in. Now, the other way is inside out. You activate the liver and kidney and colon, and when they're up to par, when they're running well, they start inviting waste to be brought down out of the fatty tissue, muscle tissue, break it up, and then move it out. So you can work inside out or outside in. I bet you don't remember that from last show, or do you?
No, I do, because I remember talking about capsicum and niacin, the flushing kind.
Oh, I never mentioned that last show? I'm such a naughty
you did.
boy.
You did.
I thought about it. I just didn't mention it.
No, you did in the last show because it stuck in my brain, and actually I have recommended it to multiple of my clients.
Oh, nice.
You
in
in my
niacin.
head.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so
Pure
Aura
fun.
Lights guy asked, are there ingredients to use for a flush? Or, if someone is looking to purchase a cleanse, what kind of items would they want to find in it?
Oh, well, if it's a general system cleanse, burdock root, lots of roots, sarsaparilla. You're probably going to find echinacea, golden seal in it. You might find rhubarb and cayenne. You might find in your colon product Cascara sagrada. A lot of people don't like Senna because it's so aggressive. You might find Fetigoso is another one that's popular. So really, you can't go wrong. Well, you can. No, you really can't. There are so many good formulas out there. Take a look at them. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's just totally in line with Dr. Rita's show. If you are drawn to a product, it's probably for you. Go with your intuition. It's probably your body communicating to you saying, I like what you're looking at. I can't really see because I can't tell. I don't read, but I have a feeling there's something good there. So that's why it's always good to walk down the aisle and touch things and get a sense of where you're being drawn.
I have to tell you, Roger, other than now I'm putting my husband on a liver cleanse, he's been having this respiratory thing going on, and I keep telling him, it's not bacterial. So I drive him to the health food store, and he has allergies, and so I know there are certain things like oregano oil, he can't take. And so I'm walking around, I'm thinking olive leaf extract,
Nice.
And so I'm like, here, and I just hand him the box, and I push it up against his chest. I'm like, how does that feel?
Yeah.
And he was like, ooh, it's like I'm already feeling like it's a little bit better just by holding it to my chest.
That's exactly what you do. In fact, that's what I teach with my energy balancing technique in my book, in my diagnostic space reading book. You can learn these things. It's so cool. Let me ask you something. How often is your husband having eliminations? Is it once a day, twice a day, every other day? How often?
He's pretty regular once a day, but it doesn't surprise me that his liver's toxic, and everything you mentioned about toxic liver, I was like, check.
Yep.
Check.
Ding, 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 ding. Check. Yep.
So
you got to move his
I already
bowel.
was aware of that.
You've got to move his bowel. You have to get him something with a colon.
See, he's probably listening, and he's going, dang, she's talking about me on air.
Oh, yeah. Well,
what about turmeric? You hear a lot about turmeric these days. What's your opinion on that?
Well, wonderful stuff. Because it's anti-inflammatory. It's great. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, inflammation is the biggest problem. Well, not the biggest. One of the biggest problems we have. But it's an ancillary problem. It's a satellite problem. It's not the problem. The reason we're swollen is because we're acidic, which comes down to being toxic again. You detox the body, you're not acidic. And finally, whenever you think detox, and I'm kind of hinting at your husband again, make sure, Dr. Rita, he's moving his bowel with every meal. Once a day is not enough. He has all the symptoms one would have. In fact, I just took a guy 2 weeks ago. This guy had the worst case of what some people might call the flu. I didn't. I just saw him as being toxic. And nothing was working. I mean, nothing. He tried everything pharmaceutical. He tried herbs. And I said, have you done anything for your colon? And he said, no, I'm not. I'm sneezing. So I said, okay, great. I handed him a product for colon. I said, I want you using this 3 to 4 times a day. I want you going. It might be temporary that your stools are fluid. I'm not worried about that. I need you going, and so do you, because you don't go how often? Every other day. Okay, great. I got him going. Suddenly his liver worked, his skin cleared up, and this guy had a rash. He had what looked like lupus all over his body. And by the way, all you people who've been diagnosed with lupus, it's just your liver and kidney and colon toxic. If you clean it up, this stuff goes away. I've handled so many people that were diagnosed because it's fun and they make money when they diagnose and can sell you drugs. So if you just address diet and detox, it goes away. This guy's skin was like an alligator. It was red everywhere. He was so bad, and it was numb, and it was burning. It was bad. And in 2 weeks, no, what am I saying? In a week, he was fine.
Okay,
fine.
So I got a secret email.
Yeah.
It didn't come. It's a secret email.
Secret.
So the question was, ask if low testosterone can happen because of bad diet. Okay, this isn't from my husband. This was literally an email. So.
I get it. Absolutely. Yes, of course. Anything that goes wrong with the body, the toxicity has to come from somewhere. And most of it, the lion's share of it, comes from our diet. I mean, what are we doing 3 times a day? We're eating.
Not having
All right.
sex.
Well, if we could, so we take a few pounds off. Oh, yeah, here's something everyone needs to do. If you're eating nuts and you think nuts are a great form of protein, well, you're correct. That's true. We learned that in 1973 during the beef shortage when people started feeding their husbands and wives and kids nuts, peanut butter in place of steak. Well, that's all well and good. The problem is it's a horrible form of protein because you cannot get anything but a cooked nut. Sounds like, what's the big deal? Well, when you're getting processed or cooked anything, but especially nuts, you are getting a toxin. Your enzymes are fractured, so your nuts are going to register as having protein, but it's not usable protein. So what happens is you eat more and more protein, you overwhelm your kidneys, which has to break down all the protein, and suddenly there goes your reproductive system. And by the way, if you think I'm kidding, I'm not. Check this out. Follow the bouncing testosterone problem and estrogen problem. In the late 70s, what am I saying, early 70s, we had the beef shortage. Now everyone's eating beef like it's going out of style. Sam Waterston is saying, eat beef, it's the real food. Matthew McConaughey, eat beef, it's the real food. Funny how they
Well, that's
say
because
the
they
same
pay
thing.
him money.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
would
right.
do
They're
it if
being
they paid
paid
me a couple of mil.
Yeah, and then we had the little lady from wherever she was from. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Well, so we're beef silly. So from the early 70s through the 80s, that's all we're doing. We're lining our bed with beef. We're rolling in it. We're rubbing it in our hair. We're drinking beef shakes. We're just snorting beef. We're getting it everywhere we can get it. And then the kidneys are taking the hit because they have to handle all this protein, which we didn't eat this kind of beef and chicken and fish prior to 1973 when we were told we couldn't have it. So we're silly with beef. Well, the kidneys get knocked out of line, and we get what's called ketosis, and we get foamy urine where it looks like Mr. Bubbles in the toilet, men and women. It's true for both. So we're pouring out protein that we can't digest. Well, what happens? We're toxifying our kidneys. And if I didn't say kidneys regulate your reproductive system, I just did. So guess what? We poison ourselves through the 80s, and by 1989, what hits the market? Viagra. Because we got to get everyone's peepees to work. And now there's the female version of Viagra, and then there's Cialis and Levitra and blah, 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 blah. If we just cut down on the protein, I don't care what your age is, everything works again. Lubrication works, erections function, and everyone's going, yeah. So it's a good thing. And you just have to regulate the protein going in. And I'm telling you, we're eating about, 90% too much.
Well, is that before or after the sugar part?
Sugar will kill you, too.
You know,
and so it would be along with the sugar
all right,
part. Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock. I want to ask one more question because we're really running out of time, because I want to talk about your book for a second. Because this is something that I hear a lot from people. And, what about vitamins? Okay, I'll ask people, okay, so, are you taking vitamins? And they'll say, well, I take vitamin C, and I take, some selenium, and they give me this weird list of stuff.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about vitamins in general, and can you commentary on, vitamins in general?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, what people don't realize about vitamins and why the FDA is after them is because they're a mild form of a drug. By the way, so are herbs. Herbs are a mild drug. Ayurveda is a mild drug. Everything's a mild drug until you get into drugs. Then they're really drugs. And they're about 15, 20, 200 times more powerful than what I just mentioned. So vitamins are mild drugs. You can't live on them. The only vitamins that are viable that actually support the entire body versus pushing it to do something, which is what your vitamins that you buy at the health food store do. They push the body to do something. That's okay. But when you're eating raw whole foods, and that leads to my book, which we'll get to in a minute or three, you're getting your nutrition and your vitamins, and they're completely viable. There's nothing wrong with vitamins in a capsule or minerals in a capsule or all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not eating any real food, which, gosh, this goes right into my book, if you're not eating any real food, it won't matter. You can take all the vitamins you want and eat all the Wendy's hamburgers and Sonic burgers and the biggest burger everywhere burger and Whataburgers you want, and you will just get sicker. And you'll say, well, I'm taking all the vitamins and I'm drinking all the water, and I can't figure out why I'm gaining weight and feel bad. And that's because the diet is horrific. It's got to be fixed.
Okay, so how does that lead us right into your new book?
Well, the new book is called The Ancient Raw Food Diet, and takes you through how to completely heal your body with food alone, gives you umpteen diets to follow, gives you charts to follow so you can pick and choose your food. It goes through the history of man so you know where he was, what he was doing, how his physiology supports eating at certain times of the day versus not. All of you who go to bed on a full stomach are killing yourselves. Every one of you. In fact, Taco Bell, I think, invented fourth meal. Thank God they did that. How would we live without fourth meal at midnight? I don't know. The body has a set series of actions it executes every day, unless it's not allowed to. And if it's not allowed to, it gets tired. It gets worn out. It gets sore. It gets moody. It gets fat. It gets fatter. It gets obese. It gets sore. It starts developing growths. It starts getting all sorts of weirdness about it. Its hair falls out. Its ability to have sex stops. So the Ancient Raw Food Diet, which is coming out March 29th and is available at rogerbezanis.com. I'm not going to spell my name again. It takes too long. Look it up.
It's on the webpage.
Ancient Raw Food Diet is at rogerbezanis.com. It's $12.95. It will change your life. Absolutely change your life. It's like no book on healing through diet you've ever read, and I guarantee it's not. I'm going to answer every mind-numbing question you've ever had about nutrition. You'll have to find new ones because I answer them all. You read this, you apply it, and unless you don't apply it, you won't get results if you don't apply it. But if you apply it, you absolutely will. I'm 53 years old. I'm 16% body fat. People think I go to the gym and work out. I don't. I do it all through diet. I'm living proof this works. And for those who didn't hear me, get on Twitter. I'm on Twitter every day. I teach a free class on Twitter. Find me, Roger Bezanis, on Twitter. And
they asked what was your Twitter name, handle, whatever.
That's it. It's Roger Bezanis. It's my name. Why be more complex than that? My name.
I don't Twitter, so I don't know if there's like a pound.
No, it's you just do @sign it. Well, if you just type in my name into Google or Bing or whatever, it'll come up, and their Twitter will be near the top along with my website. And at the moment, I have 233,000 followers. 250,000 people follow me every day. And I speak out about what the FDA is doing and the AMA and psychiatry and what's really going on. And, oh, boy, they hate my guts. Not the people who follow me, but the people who are being affected and the coffee brewers. Coffee will kill you. By the way, a very famous group who I won't mention is so desperate for sales because people are giving up coffee, they're now advertising on TV. And this group never advertised on TV. And one more point I have to make. You heard a study from, I believe it was Yale or the New England Journal of Medicine last year saying coffee is good for cancer, it's good for kidneys, and it's good for diabetes, and heals this and heals that and heals this. That was a study called Advertising-mercial. It was an infomercial that looked like actual studies or a study. It was nothing but advertising. Coffee, caffeine will kill you. It's doing it slowly. You're slowly getting worse. Get away from this stuff. There's no safe amount of caffeine to have. It was Ralph Nader who wrote Unsafe at Any Speed. I think he wrote that book, Not Safe at Any Speed. Well, caffeine is not safe in any amount. Do not have it in your life. Seriously.
Because it robs the kidneys and dehydrates you?
It shuts down the kidneys. It dehydrates the body. It attacks the liver. It disables the liver. Well, why? Wait, let's just go back to one point. It dehydrates your body. Your body runs on fluid. If there's no fluid, your body doesn't run. It shuts down your body where nothing will operate at optimum. It's running at 30% now, 20% now, 10% now for several hours. That's if you didn't put sugar in. If you put sugar in, your immune system might be shut down for 8 hours where you're just filleted wide open saying, attack me. Caffeine is one of the leading drugs, along with salt, along with sugar, on the planet. It is a killer. And every day people are giving it up. I mention it about once a week, maybe a little more often, maybe not, on Twitter. And people's hair stands up on end, and they realize, oh, yeah, I'm doing this to myself, and all the symptoms you said I'd have, I have. Then they quit it, and they heal just by giving up caffeine. I'm telling you it's the most important thing, or one of the most important things you can do. If you did nothing but this from this interview, then give up caffeine, thank goodness. Dr. Rita, from that, it tells me you drink coffee at least once a day.
I don't drink coffee.
What do you have with caffeine? Come on, tell. Give it up.
No, because you'll never speak to me again.
I will, too. I'll just hammer you every time I speak to you. So what are you having? You're having yerba mate? Is that what you're having?
No.
It's black tea. No, it's not. You wouldn't do that. You're having...
Oh, no.
It's
way worse, Roger. It is way worse. That's why I don't even
want to
tell you.
You're having lattes? You're having cappuccino?
No, I
You're
don't
having
drink coffee.
energy drinks? You're having... No, you're not. You're having energy drinks?
No.
What are you doing? Tell me.
I drink one Diet Coke in the morning.
Oh, my God.
I know. See, you're not going to speak to me for the rest of my entire life.
Dr. Rita. Everyone go look at Dr. Rita. Now, Dr. Rita's gorgeous. She has great skin. She may live to be 115. That's if she gives up her caffeine now. She may otherwise live to 80. But sometime in the near future, if it's not already happening, she's going to start feeling pain. Aches and pains that she's not going to like are going to bother her. Eventually, when she's sick and tired of it and can take it no more, she'll make a change. Sadly, that is what it takes for people to change. I got to be sick and tired of being tired and sick to change. Fact. We either change or we die. So if and when you get that irritated by your body, that's when you'll change, Dr. Rita, and not a minute sooner. So I'm going to preach, and one day I'll be preaching to the choir after you've changed.
Okay. Well,
yes,
you know, I really do listen to my body, and
it
hasn't been being mean to me yet. But I hear you.
Well, eventually things are not going to be as good as they are. And your skin, which is one of your greatest traits, you have peaches and cream skin. It's so wrong. I'm so happy for you and proud of you. It's eventually going to start changing. And you don't want it to change, do you? Don't you want to be 80 and still look 60 or 50?
Yeah.
Don't you? Well, here, you know what? We shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to. Yes, I am. Yes, that we can.
All right, but no, we're not, because the music's going to come on in like a minute. So,
okay.
Roger, wrap it up. Give out your website one more time, the name of your book, all that good stuff.
RogerBezanis.com. That's B like Bravo, E like Echo, Z like Zebra, A like Alpha, N like November, I like India, S like Sierra.com. I'm on Twitter the same way, Roger Bezanis. I'm all over the place. Find me, follow me, get my books, read them, and change your life.
Okay, Roger. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you. You are always a pleasure to have on the show. The chat room has been going crazy, probably the most crazy I've ever seen since I've been on this network. So,
woo!
Yay, good job.
Yay.
Everybody's like, oh, no, have to give up coffee. Bah! All right, Roger, I am going to let you go, and we will talk again soon.
Yay, thank you.
All right. That's Roger Bezanis, his website, rogerbezanis.com. Follow him on Twitter, and we will be back with William Brown after these words from our sponsors.
Just Energy Radio with your host, Dr. Rita Louise, will return right after these messages.